I started 11 years ago, right where you're sitting. I'm an expert in creative finance, love creative finance, talk face off about that and all the wonderful things with that. Mindset, raising private capital. Buy, sell, trade, anything like that.
I have tons of experience in real estate investing. I've wholesaled hundreds of properties. I've renovated over 100 properties. I'm a buy and hold owner of 100 properties right now, and I self-manage those all myself. I've got all the systems. I've got the people in place. I've got tons of experience buying, selling, single-family homes, multifamily, notes, rent to own, trusts. Literally everything you could have done in real estate, I have tried it, so I can't wait to share it and teach it to you.
If I could go back in time and teach myself anything, guys, learn to raise more money. Whatever you're trying to do, more money will solve your problem. So I would say that everything, in the end, it starts with mindset. We can manifest anything we want in the world. It starts with your mindset.
I'll give you even a better one, much better one. It's how many ways can I do this? How many ways can I accomplish that? How many ways can I reach that goal? And then the last one, my word of the year is who and not how. Make life easier, pave the way for your success. Everybody, work together, and you're going to get your goals met by helping others at the same time. Wow. Hey, everybody. Here we go. It is Happy Thursday and another live session for my Zero to Infinity crew. If you're not a part of that, please check it out. Zero to Infinity. This is this group that I have started to elevate your mind, your body, and your bank account, right? Mind, body, and bank account. Lots of people tend to just focus on their bank account. You know, real estate investors like myself tend to focus on your bank account. And sometimes people, they will work themselves so gosh darn hard that they don't prioritize the things that they need and they love in this world, including their family, including their body. They might work all through the night and get great sleep. They might not get that good sleep. They might just eat fast food because they're always on the run. So just putting junk in, processed food in their body. And so this group, it's really all about a holistic approach because we don't operate in silos. We're human beings in this awesome biological experience that we're having. And it's all of these things. It includes your bank account. Yes, we all want to have a bank account with as many zeros in it as possible. But let me ask you this. If you had a huge bank account, but you're only able to live for another day, would you take that? What if it was a week? Would you take that? Like what is that time frame that would be okay for you, where you would sacrifice your body just to have a bank account? Not me, not the people that resonate with me, not the people in my family, and definitely not my little boy, my little 5-month-old boy. I will not teach him those types of principles at all. So that's why we're here. That's why we're here. And that's why the group, the Zero to Infinity, is all about elevating your mind, your body, and your bank account. All these things are so important that you can't just forget one of them. And so that's why it's so important. Today, we're going to be talking about the body. So once a week on Mondays, we've got Mindset Monday with my lovely wife, Monique, the energy healer. We'll go all into the mind because whether you think you can or can't in life, guess what? You're right. So everything starts in your mind. We always preach energy before action. And twice a week, I end up helping people in real estate, whether you're a newbie, getting your first deal, getting your next deal. I love answering all the questions. I've been a real estate investor for 12 years. So I've seen, done, tried, and failed at a lot. So I'd love to give you those lessons so that you don't have to. You don't have to stumble over those things yourself. And real estate is an extremely powerful wealth building vehicle in this world. So that's why I love teaching people about real estate. But if we just teach people about mindset and real estate, we're going to be really severely lacking. And that's what today's about. So once a week, we're going to be talking about your body, health, fitness. And today we're going to talk about the 3 pillars of health and fitness, because I really want you to elevate your body, right? That health and fitness within the group so that you can live a lot longer. So let me ask you this. Is this you? Like, if this resonates with you, feel free to add some comments. Give me your tips and tricks. Give me a like, a thumbs up if this is going to add value, because I'm going to give you some awesome tips, some awesome things that we're going to do as even a group in the next 30 days, 31 days, extra bonus day in March here. So a monthly challenge, health and fitness challenge, so that we can elevate our body. Gosh, be a little bit better every day, right? 1% better every day. So let's take it 1 month at a time, one step at a time. But let me ask you these questions. Do you value health and fitness? Is this something that's important to you? Or do you just like, I'll get to that later. You know, that's not important. Let me ask you this. Do you want to live longer? I imagine many of you do. I certainly do. I want that for everyone that I love in this world, which is everyone that's in my group, everyone that comes in contact with me. I lead with love in everything, absolutely everything. Love and kindness and giving in this world. That's why I want to give all of these things to you guys. Elevate your mind, your body, your bank account. So do you want to live longer? Do you want to live a higher quality of life? Why just work and then, you just get so run down from work that you're too tired to have that quality of life with the people that you love, or that quality of life to even just be mobile and to be functional in this world? So that, like, for me, my experience, I'm excited for my 5-month-old little boy. I can't wait to go on awesome hikes with him all over the world and teach him all the things that guys like to teach other guys, outside nature things, kayaking, running, jumping, kicking balls, playing around, and you can't do that if your body is debilitated. So that's why it's so important to have this in your life. So I want to ask you, do you want that higher quality of life? Maybe, just maybe, you just want to look more fit, get that beach bod going. What is it now? It's going to be March. So perfect time to get beach bod ready. I don't know where you guys are watching me from, but here in sunny Ohio, yesterday it was 69 degrees as a high, and today 31 degrees. Little cold here. And then but in the future, it's going to get warmer, and we're going to be traveling to places that are warmer as well. So let's get that beach bod ready if that's important to you. But another thing is, do you just want to be a good example? Do you want to be a good example in life to your family, to your friends, to your kids? Set an example that fitness and health is important. It's critical in our household because we are what we eat. We've heard that before, right? We are what we do. That's life. It's our actions in life that really guide things. So I'm going to give you some awesome tidbits, 3 pillars of health and wellness. And I want to do a shout out. I want to give a shout out to my sister-in-law. So Morgan Hayes, if you don't follow her on Instagram, you probably want to if you're interested in fitness. She's amazing. She gives tons of great, tips, tricks, rehabilitation. To call her a fitness and wellness coach doesn't do her justice. So really just check her out. She's a wealth of knowledge that's on there. So you can find her at Realistically Fit with an underscore there. You might find that she looks surprisingly similar to my wife because they're twins. So don't get confused. But if it looks like it's my wife or very similar to my wife, you're on the right track. That's how you know. So definitely shout out to her. I'm hoping to bring her on to get some other great advice in the future and ideas how to elevate everyone in this game of elevating our body, because we don't do this thing alone. Anything that you want to really do and go far with, you're not going to do it alone. You're going to realize that, for one, it's a lot easier with other people. You're going to realize that the world knows more than you. And just like all these silly pieces of paper that I have here, expensive pieces of paper, I realized that the more I learned in this world, the dumber I felt. More on the lines of the more I learned, the more I realized you're never going to learn enough or everything. And so just work with other people in the world. And it's just so easy. That's why I have an easy button right here, because we can choose the easy button or we can choose the hard button, the serpentine path in life. And it's a lot easier when we leverage our network and we work with other people. So let's hit the easy button.
That was easy.
On our body, right? Tons of fun. And I use that also to program myself, because I used to be an engineer and an architect, and I'm chronic overthinker. So if you guys end up relating to that, just overthinking things, thinking that you have to have all the steps laid out in front of you before you actually take the first step, let me try and knock that out of your brain, because you don't have to do those things. You can just take those first steps, trusting and knowing that they might stumble and fall. You might not get exactly what you want out of those first steps, but you'll get there. You're getting towards your goal, right? And at least you're taking action. You're taking that one step forward. I think of my little 5-month-old son, and he can't even take his first steps yet, but I'm going to be so excited when he can, right? And we're going to encourage him in everything with that. And that's what you should do for yourself, and have goal buddies around you. I talk about this all the time. Have people that are on the same level of you, people that are above you, people that can elevate you to that level. And then you can go there together. You can stumble and fall together, and you look at each other and you say, okay, we're doing this together. It's not so bad. Right. And so that's what we have in the group. And so we're going to have people in the group that are helping that, encouraging all of that as well. So let's get a little more fit in March. So this is the last day of February. This is the last time we're going to see February 29th for 4 years. So what are you doing with this day? It's a bonus day. And when you look back 4 years from now, you want to say that it was a wasted day, that it was just a regular day in your world, or would you rather think about it and know that you acted and you really made a change in your life? You did something that's a little bit different, that you elevated yourself. And that is the whole point of my group. Let's elevate each other, and let's elevate ourselves, hold ourselves to a higher standard. So we're going to talk about the 3 pillars of health and wellness. And we're going to have some fun challenge for you as well. I'll be doing it. My VAs in the Philippines are even going to be doing it. We had a meeting about it, and they're like, wow, I want to be more fit. I want to be healthier. And so, heck yeah, we're going to all do this together, because why not? And why do we need to start something on January 1st or have new goals on January 1st? If something's worth doing, it's worth doing right away. So let's just do that thing right away. So I'm real excited to do this with you. We're going to have some different challenges throughout the year, but this one will be just an easier start, because fitness and health might be newer to some of you. You might have just been focusing on your bank account, and you haven't been thinking about your body and your health and your fitness. And that's one of the reasons that we bring this up, because sometimes you don't focus on that. Sometimes you don't focus on your mind, but gosh, 99% of success is your mindset. Have you heard this quote before? 99% of your success is mindset. Some people say it's 80% and the other percent is action. 99% of your success is mindset. And the other 1% is realizing that it's 100% about mindset. When I went from running a marathon, I went from 2 miles to running a marathon right after I had a terrible, ugly separation, my first marriage and divorce. I realized in doing that whether you think you can or you can't in life, you're right. So let's get into it. Let's talk about your body. Let's get some good stuff going with this. So the 3 pillars of health and wellness. From what I have heard from some leading experts, and again, a shout out to my sister-in-law, Morgan Hayes. You can follow her on Instagram right there. But looking at these leading experts, the things that drive us, just got back from Raise Fest, and there was Tom Bilyeu. He's the co-founder of Quest Nutrition Bars. If you know anything about that, very interested and focuses on his health and wellness. And he touted these same type of principles. First principle, first pillar, we'll get into this here. First pillar is sleep. Sleep. We need lots of sleep. We need to rebuild and recharge. If you're just working like crazy and you don't get the right sleep that you need per night, your body isn't able to recharge. Your cells aren't able to give you those extra nutrients and rebuild everything. It does that while you sleep. The body is freaking amazing. It's amazing, right? But if you run it ragged, it's just not going to be able to do the things that it's naturally made to do. So the very first pillar is sleep. Gosh, I remember even some people, you might relate with this. So my story is when I was in architecture school. Architecture school. It was right after I was an awesome engineer. I felt so proud as a young engineer. And then I was transitioning into architecture. Got into it thinking, it's fine. I'm used to a 9 to 5. That's cool. I'm good to go. Architecture school, I will always tell people, is the least amount of sleep I ever got in my life. And that's not me bragging. Right now, as we're talking about how powerful sleep is, it's me actually sharing. It wasn't a power. At the time, I thought it was a superpower that, man, there was 1 week where we had this intense architecture first year that we were going through. And it was a condensed 10 weeks in the summer because I came in with already a bachelor's of science. So they had this accelerated summer program for first year. They did the whole year in 10 weeks, 2 5-week segments. And I thought I was going to be set with a 9 to 5 schedule. But it was the least amount of sleep I ever got in my life. It was insane. Probably that's part of the reason why I ended up getting a divorce, is because I just worked my tail off constantly, did not sleep, ran me ragged. And when I was doing my final, like, your final presentation, your final project that you're doing, that one, it was 1 week's worth. And I remember in that week, in a 7-day period, I got 10 and a half hours of sleep. 10 and a half hours in a week. You think that's possible? I'll tell you it's possible. I freaking did it. And it's horrible. It ended up being detrimental to me, right? So the first pillar, I was eating away at my life and I didn't even know it. And I thought it was like, oh yeah, I'm going to push through this thing. I'm going to look how much work. Everyone else is sleeping and I'm getting all these things done. Holy smokes. Horrible. Absolutely horrible. I was able to get these 1.5 hour REM cycles because you realize that you end up getting a REM cycle. It's 1.5 hours long. And when you can get that, you need so many of those in a night. And if I could just condense it into just one, then I could wake up and I could keep working on this stupid project. Like, looking back at it, how stupid is the project? There's some really neat little things that I made. These models that look really cool, put them on my wall because they're architectural and they've got so much meaning behind them. But, one of the things I do is I look at that and I think all the sleep that I didn't get because I was just working so diligently to make this thing, draw this thing, think about this thing. And it's a stupid project. I wouldn't be surprised if that is the cause of some of the illness that I had in my life, just because I was giving up sleep so much. So one of the things that we're going to really be tracking in the month of March, for anyone that wants to join this challenge that we're putting on in our group, is our sleep. How many hours of sleep are you getting, and quality hours of sleep? Because right now, gosh, with a 3-month-old little boy, the quality of sleep is different than it used to be before him, right? And I love him, absolutely. I wouldn't have it any other way, but it's making me more conscious about the quality of sleep and how that ends up affecting us. So sleep, we need this, recharge and rebuild. So that's number one. Got to get your sleep. Of the 3 pillars, that's number one. And so many people will just like, oh yeah, sleep, all this and that. We need that sleep, that 6 to 8 hours of sleep. Tom Bilyeu sold his business for billions of dollars. Quest, the second business that he sold and exited out of for billions of dollars. Quest bars, you know that, Quest Nutrition. The one thing he said that's so important to life: get quality sleep. You need sleep. He doesn't set an alarm. I haven't set an alarm for a long time. Entrepreneurs, you might be able to relate to this. When I was working a W-2 job as an engineer, and gosh, for sure, when I was in architecture school, being an architect, getting used to doing that, and even going to school, going to work for an architect themselves, I had to set an alarm because you can't be late, right? You can't be late to things. But as an entrepreneur, I don't set an alarm. Yeah, unless it's like, okay, we got to get our flight. I don't set an alarm. I let my body just naturally wake up when it wakes up. So that's the thing that we really, really can think about, and that sleep is so important, and I love it. I don't take that for granted at all. I'm so grateful that I don't have to set an alarm. I remember the days of being an engineer and waking up being stressful in the morning because I was never a morning person. I don't know about you guys. Give me a shout out if you guys get the sleep that you like. Give me some comments about whether you get good quality sleep, whether you need better sleep, or any tips and tricks for sleep. Because please, let's elevate and help everyone else in the world. That's the whole point of everything that I do, is to elevate and give back to everyone. So drop some comments about your sleep, whether you're happy with your sleep, you want better sleep, you'd like some tips for sleep, for going to bed. I wasn't a morning person. Never was. So waking up, I'd have to set alarm after alarm. Gosh, I even remember someone got me a gift that was this little robot alarm clock that would literally run away from you. It would roll off of the nightstand. You ever see one of those? I have it upstairs. If you're ever a guest in our house, that's the alarm clock that's right next to it. It's kind of comical, but it's one of the most annoying things in the world. You got to go chase it to stop it. So it'll get you out of bed because it makes an annoying sound and it rolls wherever. But that sucks. I kind of wake up in a stressful state. To me, horrible. So I don't like that at all. But it's funny. The alarm clock is funny, but sleep is so darn important. So that's the absolute number one thing that we need in this world. Yeah, Luessa, health and wellness. Absolutely. Heck yeah, right? We need more health and wellness in our life. You're exactly the type of person that I want to attract because that's what we need. We need this so that we can be at the top of our game, so that we can do all those things that we want to do, so that we can spend that quality of life with those people that we love so gosh darn much. And isn't that the point of life? Is that we're present and we're able to be there in a quality form for everyone. That's what we really love. And so anyone else relate to this, health and wellness and sleep? The first pillar, getting high quality sleep. It's easier said than done, but it's also easy. It's simple. You just go to bed, right? Go to bed, wind down. We could talk about some different practices with sleep to wind down and not have screens around us, but that's the first pillar. So the second pillar, number 2, that I would like to talk about is hydration. Hydration. We know that this is an easy one too. If you've ever seen me, I'm always carrying around one of these bottles. In fact, I have 2 of them. So if there's ever any question, I always have these so that I have plenty of water that's on me. And even beyond that, a tip that I got from, Morgan Hayes here, my sister-in-law, again, pop that on here, health and fitness and wellness coach. So one of the tips is to add salt to your water. You're like, oh my gosh, add some salt into the water. Well, yeah, guess what? We're over 80% water. We need that. And salt is the mechanism that allows it to really get absorbed into our body. Now, we're not saying that it needs to taste like salt water, but if it did, it's probably going to want to be a little bit saltier than just regular water. Like, and you might end up getting addicted to it. I know some of these ladies here, my wife and my sister-in-law, they'll put plenty of salt, sea salt, right there in their water, and it helps it absorb a little bit better into our body. That's what's so critical, is we want that absorption in there, and we want a lot of water per day. Like 120 ounces of water is good. Probably whatever you're drinking, it's not enough. It's really, sometimes you'll see those people at the gym with the gallon jug of water that's there. It's just an easy reminder that they're going to finish that and fill so many of those up per day and do that. But we want to get lots of quality water in us. And so for men and women, it's saying about 104 ounces for men, 72 ounces for women. But I would say half an ounce for every pound. That's another example that they have. So half an ounce of water for every pound that you weigh. So if you weigh 150 pounds, you're going to drink 75 ounces of water. If you're 200 pounds, you're going to drink 100 ounces of water. This thing right here is 32 ounces. And so just know whatever you have and just follow yourself around with this. And I brought this to Raise Fest with me. I bring this everywhere with me because it's also a constant reminder: drink more water. And you can tell when you're dehydrated from a lot of reasons. You might get a headache. You might get lethargic, and just you're not recovered. You're not good. So second pillar, so important: hydration. And add that salt. That's like the little tip on top of the tip, is if you add that salt to it, it's so much better. So much better. All right. So that's 2 of the 3 pillars. Third pillar. Ready for it? It's funny because these are all straightforward and easy, yet we tend to not keep them top of mind. We tend to think like, oh, I just want the things that make me money. Right? Yeah, heck yeah, Joe, try it. Yeah, put some salt in there. Just a little bit of salt every time you're filling up your water bottle, whatever it is. It'll help you be more hydrated. And so it helps it all get absorbed, and it's just critical. It's one of those electrolytes. You always hear electrolytes, right? You hear them, oh, this thing has electrolytes in it. Well, salt is an electrolyte. It's easy. Right? It helps with that absorption, which helps your muscles move, which helps everything grow. It's just a critical item for us to live as human beings. We need water. We need salt. So get it. So number 1 was sleep. Number 2 was hydration. Number 3, movement. Get moving, right? We need some movement in one way or another. You don't want to be stagnant. You can't be just lethargic. A lot of people are sitting a lot of the day. Here I am right now sitting, but what you can't see underneath is my legs are moving. I'm kind of like having my legs and just moving them up and down. Sometimes people will have standing desks. You can do that too. That's an easy one. But just movement. We need some movement. What do you guys do to move throughout the day? If you want to drop that in the chat, because I also want to hear any of your limiting beliefs around movement. So if you want to drop in the chat things that you do for movement, that'd be great. One of the things I love to do is running. Here now in Ohio, that it's 30 degrees out, it makes it a little less it's a little more detrimental to go running. It's just got to wear some more and all of that. So yeah, heck yeah, I'll go to the gym. Right on, Joe. Me too. I'll get some movement in. Sometimes people might say, oh, I don't have time to go to the gym. I've got this, that, all the other things, right? And so that's actually the conversation that I had with my VAs right before this. One of them was telling me, it's just like, I don't have time for this. And think about this. The VAs that a lot of people tend to work with are people, the virtual assistants. They live, usually there's great ones that are in the Philippines. Well, they're right now 13 hours different from us. 13 hours. So where normal people are sleeping in the Philippines, they're awake. And so when we're talking about these 3 pillars of health, the first one being sleep, it's so important that they can get that quality sleep that's during the day normally. So they definitely have to work on that. And then, so one of the things that she said to me was, I don't have time. Like, how do I get movement in my life? Right? I can't. How can I? Right? And so I love to change the question. Change the question, and you change the results, and you change your way of thinking about it. That's part of our mindset days, our hacks that we do. Change the question, you change the results, which changes your whole way of thinking about the problem, or I would say the challenge. I don't like to use the word problem anymore. We use the word challenge. That's it. It's just a challenge. How do we overcome this challenge, right? So change the question, change the results. So instead of like, how can I, ask yourself the question, how many ways can I? Because since it's plural, your mind's naturally going to say, okay, how many ways can I do that? It's going to think of multiple ways to get that done. And maybe you don't even know the answer. Well, guess what? We've got a trick. We've got a secret in our life now this year that we didn't have 2 years ago. It's ChatGPT. So you can just ask ChatGPT, how many ways can I get movement in my life? So, and I'll share some of that with you because I absolutely did that in preparation for this. It took all of 5 seconds to get the answer for some of that. So what we're going to do, since movement is that third pillar that's so gosh darn important, movement is that third pillar, I'm going to ask you guys, join us for our March 31-day health and fitness challenge. We're just going to do 10,000 steps per day. We're not going to do anything too crazy right now, just 10,000 steps per day. Cool thing nowadays, it's like, oh, well, how do we track our steps? Like, are we counting them all? Well, obviously not counting them all ourselves. Some people have fitness watches on. That's cool. But guess what? Most everyone has a phone. Everyone's got a phone nowadays, right? And so the iPhone naturally has a health app on it. It will track your steps on there. So that's a real easy one. Just go in and search for your health app, and you can start tracking your steps. And if you have an Android, I guess for them, I hear that you just have to go in and enable the step counter that's in there. If anyone has an Android, feel free to comment in the chat and let anyone know how to enable your steps per day, because I don't have one. I love my iPhone. It's intuitive and easy. And so please, if someone could help anyone else with that, or we can Google it, and that's also easy too. So help yourself if the community isn't helping. But yeah, we're going to have a 10,000 step per day challenge. And so when I told my VAs this, the one that was like, oh, how do I get that in? Like, how do I make time for that? How can I'm here and I've got my kids, and, you know, I'm work, and I got to be in front of a computer. Excuses, right? Our mind is naturally made to protect ourselves, to not change our status quo. It wants to keep things safe. That's our lizard brain, our primal brain, that's just trying to keep everything the same, because different is change, and change is scary. Change, we don't know. Even if what we're doing right now is bad for us, is hurting our health, at least it's the known bad as opposed to the unknown bad that is out there. That's how the brain ends up working. That's usually the subconscious that's stopping us from taking those next steps. And so we can fight that, and we can say, all right, how many ways can we get it done? We can say, hey there, ChatGPT, how many ways, can we get 10,000 steps in a day? And so I asked it, I said, what's 20 ways that we can get 10,000 steps in a day? And so easily, right? Morning walk, taking the stairs, lunchtime stroll, walking, meetings that you have, park further away. How many people purposefully do that? I know some people that do. Sometimes it's to protect their car, but sometimes it's just to walk a little bit more. In the cold might be worse, but dance. I know some people that will just dance. Walking your dog lovers, you do this anyway. Gardening, window shopping, joining a walking group, walking and talking, hiking. I love hiking, exploring your city, et cetera, et cetera. Ask ChatGPT, ask a friend, how many ways? that we can get 10,000 steps a day. And I love the last one that it suggested for me. It said family walks. Encourage family walks after dinner to spend quality time together and reach your step goal. Who does that? Who does like stacking your variables? We'll call that. Who ends up, if you're trying to, for instance, spend time with your family, get nice outdoor time, get your steps in, get fitness, maybe even, anything else that you're trying to do. You stack those variables together. You don't have to do them separately. You don't need to do individually each of these things. You do them all at once. Bring your kids, bring your family, enjoy that time. So then you're getting quality time and you're getting sun and you're getting wind and you're getting steps in. So wonderful. And you're exploring. It's just, you think about it that way, and then you can be grateful for so many things at once, as opposed to just thinking about everything being linear. Things don't have to be linear. We can do things in parallel. So then it's like, okay, what if you can't get out of the house? ChatGPT to the rescue. I asked it, now give me 20 more ways if I can't get outside and I have to get those 10,000 steps in the house, right? You want to hear these ones because these are all for the people with excuses, which is a lot of our subconscious. It's like, how can you get those 10,000 steps in if you can't get outside of the house? So let me give you some of those steps because there's some great ones. And so you'll get rid of excuses, because what's the saying? Excuses are like buttholes. Everyone has one, right? How silly and stupid, but it's true. Excuses are easy. Don't be complacent and don't be just a status quo. We want you to elevate above that, to be more than that. So I'm an enabler and I just love helping people out in this world. So let's get some things that we can do. What are some other ideas? Yeah, put some other ideas into the chat. I see some people have done that. Walking pad delivered to the house by Amazon. Heck yeah, man. That's right, Josh. Absolutely. You could have one of those walking desks that you're doing that on. Sometimes you go to the gym. Sometimes I'll go to the gym and I'll either when I was in school, I was studying for an exam. I would just study while walking. It's amazing how many steps you'll get, how many miles you'll get when you're just doing the two things at the same time, or just having a call with the person that you haven't caught up with. You're like, oh, I never have time to catch up with this friend of mine or this family member of mine. Do it while you're just walking. Yeah, at the gym or at home like this, just do them at the same time. Walked for dollars in New York City. Interesting. What does that mean? Walking for dollars? I assume it's not you're trying to find dollars on the street, although that's possible. Walking for dollars. I used to have this app that I used when I was training for a marathon, because I like to stack my variables. Besides the app that would tell the world that I was walking and it would keep me accountable, that I was running, and it would keep me accountable on social media. It's called Charity Miles. And the Charity Miles app, it would end up donating to whatever place I wanted it to donate. You could select. There were hundreds that were in there, and you would get so many dollars per every mile that you ended up logging in it. How wonderful is that? I'm going to help out a charity while I'm also fit too. So stacking variables. How cool is that? Right? Like driving for dollars. Okay, right on. I thought it might be that. Walking for dollars in New York City, since everything's so close, as opposed to driving for dollars. Maybe here in the suburbs, a little bit further away. Heck yeah. Heck yeah. You get outside, you get that, and you're doing your real estate. You're door knocking. You're getting things done. What else do we have in here? Water machines. Oh, something for the alkalinity level of the water, helps the cells hydrate easier. Yeah. So there's there's water therapy machines. There's those cold therapy, those float beds. Man, there's a ton of great things that you can end up doing for your body. And those are all the things that we're going to talk about on Monday. And Curtis, you and I have had a conversation offline about grounding. Curtis ended up sharing something about that we were talking about on Monday. So we were talking about grounding and how basically the short of it was I was having all these screens and lights all day. I just had a headache all day from all this EMF that's going around. And my wife, of course, is also in the health and wellness field. She just told me, go outside and ground. Just take your shoes off, walk outside. Well, it was 30 degrees and it was nighttime. And I'm like, what in the heck? But I've learned to catch myself and be like, why not? Why not try this? Why not do that? Right? Why am I having excuses for it as opposed to just doing the thing that someone knows will help? Proven science. Curtis ended up sharing some things, a podcast with Joe Rogan about grounding specifically. He did some more research because he was hearing about it, because after I was outside grounding, yes, it was cold on my feet, but you know what? It was invigorating to me. It was invigorating, right? We can say, oh, it's so cold and it was painful, or we can reframe it in our minds and say, it's so freeing. It's so wonderful. I'm so grateful for this time. And all of that those ions that I had, they all discharged right into the ground. You hear about grounding rods that are put in case there's a lightning strike in a house or something. Grounding rods, they have them on the outside of your house. Maybe you don't know that. And if you're in the computer field, you might know that when people assemble computers, they have this little wrist band that they put on that has a metal contact to your wrist, and then you ground yourself to the computer box, like a desktop box. You ground yourself to that, which is grounded to the wall socket, and so that you don't have static discharge that can mess up some of those circuitry in there. But think about it. You understand when you have static and your hair is all over the place, there's still electrons that are getting on you and they're clumping up and they're affecting your body. So grounding is a real powerful technique to get rid of that. Because I came inside after 6 minutes of standing on the cold ground. Guess what? No headache. I had the headache all day long from it, and it only got worse. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to go to bed with this headache, right? And I don't really take headache medicine. I definitely try not to. My wife definitely doesn't take any of that. So wonderful technique. And that's something else. These are just some of the things that we'll talk about, but they're real. They're science-based. That's why I'm saying these 3 pillars right now, we need these in our lives, right? Sleep, hydration, movement. And I'm curious, Curtis, I'm curious to hear for you, because I know that you're a truck driver too, as well as a real estate investor. So I'm sure his thought pattern is that he's going to be driving a lot of the time. So how do you get some movement in when you're driving a lot of the time? So here's some of the ways that we can, that we asked ChatGPT. Oh yeah. And then here's Josh, right? 30-minute walk outside at first light. Grounded. Yeah, heck yeah. Josh, how'd that make you feel, man? How did you feel after that? First light. What a wonderful way to wake up. You get that morning sun, you get that fresh air, and you're grounding even right in the beginning. How'd you feel after doing that? I'd love to hear that. Man, that's super powerful. And that's awesome. I love that you guys are doing that. I know that it'll end up changing your lives. And that's the whole point, is I wanted to change lots of people's lives. So some of the ways that we can get 10,000 steps inside your house from ChatGPT, just easy answer, right? Easy button. Easy button answer to things, because we don't have to make it hard and we don't have to think that it's impossible, and we don't have to put it off because we've got wonderful resources around us. So easy 20 ways to get 10,000 steps in. Ready? Indoor walking or marching in place. Simply walking while you're watching TV or listening to music. How many people just sit down and watch TV? I know I do, but guess what? I'm not going to be doing anymore, is just sitting and watching TV, because why not? And I'll even show you guys. I mean, I'm going to be doing this with you. So I will absolutely end up recording myself, showing you what I do. We're going to have every Friday. So it's going to start tomorrow. Every Friday, we're just going to catch up with everyone, Fitness Friday, and so that we can share our progress and our steps with these 3 pillars and this movement challenge that we're doing. Just taking action. And so that's one way, as we're watching TV or listening to music, just walking in place. And one of the things you'll see me doing, a new thing that I've been doing lately, is using my little boy. I think he weighs about maybe 16 pounds now. I've been using him to work out with, right? Like doing different things. It's amazing when you hold something out really far and you're doing things. It's a lot harder than when you hold it in. But just he loves when I do push-ups on top of him, and I'll do squats, I'll do lunges, do some ab work, and just move him while we're doing some abs. It's just wonderful, stacking variable excuses. Hang out with my son, making him laugh, getting some fitness in when normally I might just get a couple extra minutes of work. What's that going to do for us? Versus if we can get 18 minutes of working out, of fitness, and we're doing it, we could do it at the same time. That's the thing, is it doesn't have to be like, we're spending this time on it. We're doing it at the same time. So Josh was sharing that he got 30 minutes of walk outside at first light and then grounded for 5 minutes. And I asked him how he's been feeling after that. So he's been feeling sick in the last few days, but it helped get the day started and ease some of the inflammation, headache. Yes, Josh. Heck yeah. Inflammation. I'm so glad you said that. That is exactly what ends up happening. That is how disease starts to manifest in our body. If we don't get the right sleep, the right hydration, we're not moving, we're not circulating things around in our body. If we have a lot of stress that we're not dealing with, if we have different past traumas that are just, we haven't cleared out of our energy field, it can manifest in inflammation and therefore disease. And so let's get all of these things. Let's stack our variables that we're on that right path of success so that we don't have inflammation. We don't have disease in our body. We're able to live longer. We're able to live a high quality of life. We're able to spend that time with the people that we love. We're able to be healthy, be fit, do the things that we want to do, even look good when we're going to the beach. Why not? We can have all those things. Whether you think you can or you can't, you are right. And we can. We know we can, right? We know we can. So what's some other things besides walking or marching in place? Using a treadmill. Someone mentioned that. A walking treadmill indoors while you're watching the show or listening to your podcast. Climbing stairs. Thought about that as I was walking up the stairs today. That's a good one. That'll give you some more. Jumping jacks. Elevate your heart rate. We can do it right here, right? I'm saying that I'm moving my legs underneath here as we're talking, because why not? Do some jumping jacks. Sometimes these things are really good for a state change. If you're feeling stressed out about something, or you're like, I've got this stress, or I've got to do this thing and I've been putting this thing off. Sometimes it's so easy for us to just get stuck in that state. So let's change our state. A good way of changing our state, an easy way of changing our state, is just to do something different. So just say, okay, we're going to drop down, do some push-ups. We're going to do some jumping jacks. We're going to like trick our body doing something completely different in that movement. So we're like, we're moving all the blood around. We're getting some more oxygen in. We're doing that. And then you could do a countdown from 3 and just go 3, 2, 1, boom. And then do that thing that you wanted to do. Sometimes that's real nice to just clear out your head from just the garbage, and it's a little mental hack that we can do. What's some other ideas? Dance workout videos. Well, that's interesting. I remember doing some different workout videos before. Dance, I don't know, but I'm sure some of you relate to that. High knee marching, right? Walking during your phone calls, mini stepper, in-place lunges, do those. Household chores, just moving things around, vacuuming, sweeping, mopping. Those are steps, right? You could do it with a little more bounce in your step too. Why not? Step touches, touching your foot, seated marches, even just sitting down, marching your legs just to keep them moving, right? Instead of maybe fluttering, just raising your knees up while we're sitting here. Engage your core and you start to do a little bit more. Hula hooping, calf raises, chair squats, shadow boxing, yoga tai chi, stationary bike, fitness apps, stability ball. So many things. You can do so many things. So I don't want to hear excuses of, I can't get outside. I can't get somewhere else. I don't like the word can't. I like the word how can I? And even better, how many ways can I get something done? Because if you're always in that mindset of I can't do something, you realize that there's many things in life that you'll just give in to your subconscious to realize that I can't do that. Screw that. We're not living in the world of can't. We live in the world of can, of possibility, of anything that we want in this life, we can get done. That's why it's so important that we're discussing this mind-body connection. It's so freaking important that we discuss this mind-body connection because they are linked together. I don't know if you guys realize this. Maybe it's a no-brainer for some, but there's a mental link between your mind and your physical well-being. And so we need to think about both of these things at the same time. We can't just be operating in like work, or even just like mindset. I'm going to just have a wonderful mindset and then everything will work out. We have to work at these things all holistically together. And the beautiful thing about working on your body is that it's motion, it's movement. So the way you do one thing is the way you tend to do everything in life. You realize these people that they're sloppy in their personal life, they're sloppy in their car, they're sloppy at work, just things are sloppy, right? The way you do one thing is the way you do everything. So if you're moving, if you're adding lots of movement into your well-being, guess what you're probably also going to be doing? You're probably also going to be moving in your business. You're going to be taking those actions, right? Because we're doing this, especially when you're doing this in a group with everyone. You're like, okay, let's do this. You get your steps in. Did you get your sleep? Did you get your water? Did you do all that? 1/2 ounce per pound of water we want per day. Add some salt into it. Good sleep per day, quality sleep, waking up refreshed. It's going to allow you to be so much more successful in your business. And your energy is going to come across that way with everyone that you interact with. More sleep, you're going to have more energy. More movement, you think you'll be tired. Guess what? The people that end up working out often, they have more energy, right? That's what we're doing. That's what we're building. This is the momentum, the snowball effect. That's what we're building. So I'm really excited to have that. So March 31-day challenge. Who's with me? Who wants to do 10,000 steps a day? Who wants to elevate their own mind, build a stronger mind by being committed to something, by taking action to something? And then it's going to help your business too. Just making commitments in life. What are we doing? We're committing to ourselves. We're committing to other people. It's only for 31 days. Holy smokes, right? Don't we want this even more? Yeah, heck yeah, Josh, that's right. Who else is in? Who else wants to do this? Let's do it, right? Life is too short. Life is already too short, wherever you are. 100 years we might live, 100-year ticker tape. Well, I'm 42 years old, so that's taking almost half of it already. And the average people in society don't live to be 100. They live to be 80. So this is how much time we have. That's how much time we have left in the world. And maybe your age is a little bit different. You've got a little bit more, but we've already spent a lot of time and we don't have that much time to go. Wouldn't it be nice if we can live longer than the average person? Number one, live longer than the average person, but also have a quality of life that's better than them, and to have that right now. So many people, I feel like society ingrains it into us a lot of the time. It's like work so we can retire. It's that mindset of do the thing so that eventually we can have enjoyment and fulfillment in life. That is not what I'm going to preach to the group. I don't want to help that mentality in the group. I don't want that at all. Even Monique will talk about we can live and embody those emotions for that goal that we want to have. We can feel them right now. We don't have to wait for them. And that's part of the trick of attracting that thing towards us with ease, as opposed to just feeling anxiety about it and thinking that, oh, eventually I'll get to feel those good feelings. And then when we get there, it's like, all right, I got to feel that for just a hot second because now my goals are even bigger. No, feel them. Take some good breaths, guys. Get excited. We're going to have fun. We're going to end up moving a whole heck of a lot. And 10,000 steps a day, for some might be a lot. For some probably isn't a lot. But we'll start to see. Heck yeah, Loesta, let's do it. That's right. Let's do this thing. Who else is here? Who else is with me? Who else is going to take on this challenge? March movement, 10,000 steps a day challenge. Hope you guys are in the group. Hope you guys are doing this. Want to talk about our sleep, our hydration, our movement, those 3 pillars of health and wellness. And we're going to hold each other accountable. You know what? If we fail on some of them, that's okay, right? It's going to be okay. Who are you failing? You're failing yourself. You're failing your future self. You're failing your family. You're failing lots of people. But I'll say that's okay because we are not perfect. It's not to be perfect, right? We want to be 1% better. But let's take on that challenge. Let's take on that challenge together. I'm going to take it on with you guys. We're going to do this. We're going to watch our hydration. We're going to add some salt to it. We're going to get our proper sleep so that we're recharged. We're going to move 10,000 steps a day wherever we can. Do our steps in place, do our steps here while we're sitting, whatever you're doing. I'll have my little boy and do some squats, walk around the house. Truth be told, he doesn't like to be sitting as it is. He gets a lot more fussy when he's sitting. So it's actually a lot easier to just move around with him. So let's do that. Because the way you do one thing is the way you do everything in life. So let's elevate our body so that our mind is tricked. It's tricked into it. It's like, okay, we're doing a new thing. We're getting it done. We're going to be better tomorrow. We're going to be better today. We're going to be better the next day. Guess what that'll do to you? It'll end up making your mind make you better in other aspects of life. Free. It'll just happen for free. It'll happen while you sleep. You're programming yourself to just do it. Just do it, right? Best tagline ever, Nike. Just do it. And we're going to be a little bit better, and we're going to have a little more success, and we're going to be healthier, and we're going to be able to live longer for the people that we love in this life, for us, but also for the people that we love. So be an example. Be an example to the people that you want to associate with. Show them what type of person you are. Show them that you're a doer. Show them that you're someone who leads by example, that you value your health, that you value quality of living. And maybe there's some people in your life that aren't very healthy. Show them too. Show them that it's possible, and show them that it doesn't take much. Yes, it's 10,000 steps, but it's one step at a time. That's all it takes. One more step at a time. Let's make the excuse to make time for our health, not the other way around. Right on, everybody. Well, I can't wait to see you. Tomorrow's going to be the first day of the challenge. Can't wait to see everyone working and doing that. We'll make sure that we have a post. I'll make sure that we're accountable every week on Friday just to just stay together, because we don't have to do this alone. And there's a lot more power in together. So with that, I want to say thank you so much, everyone. If you want some great advice, tips, and tricks right here, this is my wonderful sister-in-law, Morgan Hayes. You can follow her on Instagram at Realistically Fit. She's got amazing tips and tricks for your health, for working out. She's a power athlete, an Olympic athlete level and competitions that she's done. She's amazing. And she's really good at rehabilitating, so much with your lymph system. Not a lot of people talk about your lymph system, but there's so much that we're going to end up talking about. But the first step is getting these 3 pillars in: your sleep, your hydration, your movement. So with that, have a wonderful rest of your week. I'll see you guys for our office hours tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. One at a time per week, I want to talk about more novice questions, newbie questions, so that we can get everybody going. But then another time per week, which is going to be tomorrow, I'd like to challenge us for some bigger thinking, some elevated tactics, so that you can also lean into something in the future, so you can become aware of something in the future. So we're going to talk about raising capital tomorrow. It's the one thing I wish, being in this for 12 years as a real estate investor, it's the one thing I wish I had started from the beginning. I wish I had gotten into it sooner. And so because of that, I'm not going to let you guys procrastinate learning about this and starting taking the steps on it. It's going to serve your future self and your future goals so much. And it's going to serve your present goals so much, just learning to talk about these things and some steps with that. So can't wait for that. 5 p.m. Eastern time. We're going to be in a Zoom, so look for that link. It's right on the right on, and we've got Morgan that's joining too. There she is. Yep, absolutely. Follow her. She's amazing on Instagram. Absolutely amazing. So you would do yourself a disservice if you did not follow her. So tomorrow we're going to be talking, and look for that in that Zoom link in the group. There's a calendar that has every darn Zoom link, live, Facebook, meetup, in person, everything that we're doing. So add that to your calendar. It is pinned as a featured item right at the top of our Zero to Infinity group. So go have a wonderful week. Get some steps in, get ready for that, get some good sleep tonight, get your water bottles ready, and let's go elevate our mind, body, and bank accounts. Take care, everyone. Lots of love.